Jake Morrison stood in the main meeting room of the human ship Earth's Hope. He held a strange metal device in his hands. The device was about the size of a book and glowed with blue light. It had just arrived from the Galactic Council. "What does it say?" asked Dr. Lisa Bennett. She was the ship's doctor and had been working with Jake for 3 years. Her brown hair was tied back in a simple ponytail, and she wore her usual white medical coat. Jake pressed a button on the device. A hologram appeared in the air above it. The hologram showed a tall, muscular alien with gray skin and forearms. The alien's voice was deep and rough. "Greetings, inferior species of the galaxy," the alien said. "I am General Vorthik of the Coraxian Empire. We have created the ultimate test of strength and endurance. We call it the Bone Crusher Protocol." Ryan Torres, the ship's fitness instructor, laughed. "Bone Crusher? That sounds like something from a bad movie." Ryan was a former Marine who had joined the diplomatic mission 2 years ago. He was tall and strong, with short black hair and kind eyes. The hologram continued. "This test will separate the weak from the strong. It will show the galaxy which species deserves to lead and which should follow. The test has 5 stages. Each stage increases the gravity from 2 times normal to 8 times normal. You must carry heavy weights and complete obstacle courses while fighting against crushing force." Dr. Bennett raised her eyebrows. 8 times normal gravity? That's intense. "Many species have tried this test," General Vorthik continued. "All have failed. The Zephyrians broke their legs in the first stage. The crystal people of Vex High shattered like glass. The gas beings simply could not hold their form. Even our own warriors struggle with the final stages." Jake looked around the room. Besides himself, Lisa, and Ryan, there were 2 other crew members present. Matt Rodriguez was the ship's engineer, a quiet man with clever hands and a friendly smile. Amy Clark worked in communications. She was young and smart, with red hair and a quick wit. "The test will take place in 1 month, the hologram said. "Each species may send 5 representatives. The test will be held on the neutral station Kepler 7. Prepare your strongest warriors. Most will not survive." The hologram flickered and disappeared. The room was quiet for a moment. "Well," said Jake. That was cheerful. Ryan picked up the device and looked at it. "Can you replay the technical details?" Jake pressed another button. A new hologram appeared. This one showed detailed information about the test. There were numbers, charts, and pictures of the obstacles. "Let me see," Ryan said, studying the information. "First stage is 2 times normal gravity. You carry a 50-pound pack and run through a quarter-mile obstacle course. Second stage is 3 times gravity with a 75-pound pack. Half-mile course." "That doesn't sound too bad," said Amy. She was looking at the hologram with interest, not fear. "The third stage is 4 times gravity," Ryan continued. 100-pound pack, 3/4-mile course. Fourth stage is 6 times gravity, 125 pounds, 1-mile course. Final stage is 8 times gravity, 150 pounds, 1.5 miles. Dr. Bennett was taking notes on her tablet. "The medical data is interesting. They expect broken bones, torn muscles, and complete system failure. Most participants don't even finish the first stage." Matt Rodriguez spoke up. He usually didn't say much, but when he did, people listened. "I've worked in high-gravity environments before. 8 times normal is serious, but it's not impossible. We use gravity suits for ship repairs all the time. The time limits are generous too," Amy added. "They give you 2 hours for each stage. That's a really slow pace." Jake was surprised by his crew's reaction. He had expected them to be worried or scared. Instead, they seemed curious and almost excited. "Are you all crazy?" he asked. "This is designed to break bones and kill people. The aliens are calling it a torture test." Ryan laughed again. "Jake, have you ever been to a CrossFit gym? Or seen a Tough Mudder race? This looks like a slightly harder version of what people do for fun on Earth." "For fun?" Jake couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Think about it," Dr. Bennett said. "Humans are built for endurance. We evolved as hunters who chased animals for miles and miles. Our ancestors ran down prey that was faster and stronger than them. They did it by never giving up and never stopping. Our cardiovascular system is designed for sustained effort," Ryan added. "Our cooling system is the best in the galaxy. We can sweat to regulate our body temperature. Most aliens can't do that." Amy nodded. "And our bone density is really high. Compared to other species, we come from a heavy gravity world. Earth's gravity is already stronger than most planets." Matt smiled. "Plus, we've been doing this kind of thing for thousands of years. We call it exercise. We pay money to do harder versions of this test." Jake sat down in his chair. He was starting to understand what his crew was telling him. "So you're saying this isn't actually that hard for humans?" "Not really," Ryan said. "It's challenging, sure, but it's not impossible. It's just a really good workout." Dr. Bennett looked at her notes. "I'd like to volunteer for the test. The medical data we could collect would be valuable. We could learn a lot about human performance under extreme conditions." "I'm in too," said Ryan. "This looks like fun." "Count me in," said Amy. "Me too," said Matt. Jake looked around the room at his crew. They were all volunteers. They were all excited about a test that was designed to break bones and destroy spirits. They were treating it like a game. "You're all insane," he said, but he was smiling. "Fine, I'll be the fifth member. Let's show these aliens what humans can do." The crew cheered. They had no idea that they were about to change the galaxy's understanding of human capabilities forever. The next morning, Ryan Torres woke up early and went to the ship's gym. He had been thinking about the Bone Crusher protocol all night. He wanted to create a training program for the team. The gym on Earth's Hope was small but well equipped. There were weights, machines, and a large open area for exercises. Ryan's favorite feature was the gravity control system. He could adjust the artificial gravity from half of Earth's normal to 3 times normal. "Computer, set gravity to 2 times. "Normal," Ryan said. The room hummed as the gravity increased. Ryan immediately felt the extra weight pressing down on his body. His arms and legs felt heavy, like he was wearing invisible weights. He started with simple exercises. Push-ups were harder, but still manageable. Pull-ups required more effort. Running on the treadmill felt like he was carrying a heavy backpack. After an hour of testing, Ryan had good news. 2 times normal gravity was challenging, but not dangerous. He could maintain a steady pace for a long time. His heart rate stayed in a healthy zone. Dr. Bennett arrived just as Ryan was finishing his workout. She carried a medical scanner and a tablet full of notes. "How do you feel?" she asked. "Good," Ryan said, breathing hard but not struggling. "Tired, but good. It's like doing a hard workout with a weighted vest." Lisa scanned Ryan with her medical device. "Your heart rate is elevated but stable. Muscle stress is within normal limits. No signs of injury or dangerous strain." "What about the other gravity levels?" Ryan asked. "Let's find out," Lisa said. "Computer, set gravity to 3 times normal." The room hummed again. The extra gravity hit Ryan like a heavy blanket. Walking became more difficult. His muscles had to work harder just to stand up straight. "This is getting serious," Ryan said, but he was still smiling. "It's like wearing a really heavy backpack. I can handle it, but I need to pace myself." Lisa took more readings. Your body is adapting well. Humans are remarkably good at dealing with increased gravity, much better than most alien species. They spent the next 2 hours testing different gravity levels. At 4 times normal, Ryan could still move and exercise, but he had to rest more often. At 5 times normal, simple tasks became challenging. At 6 times normal, he could barely run. I think I understand the pattern, Lisa said, studying her data. The aliens who designed this test come from low-gravity worlds. What feels crushing to them might just feel heavy to us. Jake Morrison arrived with the rest of the team. Matt Rodriguez carried a toolbox. Amy Clark had her communication equipment. They were all curious about the training. How bad is it? Jake asked. Not bad at all, Ryan said. It's just like really intense exercise. We can handle it. Show us, Amy said. Ryan set the gravity to 2 times normal. The teen immediately felt the extra weight. Jake stumbled slightly, but caught himself. Matt moved slowly and carefully. Amy's eyes widened with surprise. This is what the first stage feels like, Ryan explained. Now let's try the obstacle course. Ryan had set up a simple course using gym equipment. There were cones to run around, bars to climb over, and ropes to crawl under. It was similar to what they had seen in the alien hologram. One by one, the team members tried the course. Jake moved steadily but carefully. Matt was slower but never stopped. Amy was quick and agile. Dr. Bennett took notes on everyone's performance. This is interesting, Lisa said after everyone had finished. You're all performing better than I expected. Your heart rates are high but stable. No one is showing signs of dangerous stress. It's actually kind of fun, Amy said. Like those obstacle races people do on Earth. Matt nodded. The gravity makes everything harder, but not impossible. It's just a matter of pacing yourself. Over the next week, the team trained every day. Ryan created a careful schedule. They started with low gravity and gradually increased it. They practiced the obstacle course movements until they became automatic. Dr. Bennett monitored everyone's health carefully. She was amazed by what she saw. The human body was adapting to the increased gravity faster than she had expected. Our cardiovascular system is really efficient, she explained to the team. We can deliver oxygen to our muscles even under high gravity. Our cooling system works well too. We can sweat to regulate our body temperature, which most aliens can't do. What about our bones? Jake asked. The test is called Bone Crusher for a reason. Human bones are dense and strong, Lisa said. We evolved on a high-gravity world. Our bones are built to handle stress. Plus, regular exercise makes them even stronger. The team's training attracted attention from other crew members. Soon, people were stopping by the gym to watch. The humans were doing something that looked impossible, and they were making it look easy. How are you doing that? Asked Steve Johnson, the ship's navigator. He was watching Amy complete the obstacle course at 4 times normal gravity. Practice, Amy said, breathing hard but smiling. And good genes. Humans are built for this kind of thing. Steve tried the course himself. He struggled at first, but gradually got better. Soon, he was asking to join the training sessions. Word spread to other ships in the area. Alien crews started asking questions. How were the humans preparing for a bone crusher protocol? What was their secret? The answer was simple. They weren't doing anything special. They were just doing what humans had always done. They were exercising, training, and pushing their bodies to perform better. General Vorthik received reports about the human training. His spies told him that the humans seemed to be enjoying their preparation. They were laughing and joking during their workouts. They treated the deadly test like a game. This is impossible, Vorthik said to his aide. The test is designed to break spirits before it breaks bones. How can they be happy about it? Perhaps they don't understand how dangerous it is, his aide suggested. Or perhaps, Vorthik said slowly, they are more dangerous than we thought. Back on Earth's Hope, the team was finishing their final training session. They could now complete the obstacle course at 6 times normal gravity. 8 times normal was still challenging, but they were confident they could handle it. I feel ready, Jake said. How about the rest of you? Ready, said Ryan. Ready, said Lisa. Ready, said Matt. Ready, said Amy. They had no idea that they were about to shock the galaxy. The test that was designed to prove alien superiority was about to become a human victory. The space station Kepler-7 was huge. It floated in empty space between 3 different star systems. The station was neutral territory where different alien species could meet safely. Today, it was hosting the most important test in Galactic. History. Jake Morrison and his team arrived on a shuttle from Earth's Hope. They carried simple gym bags with their equipment. Other species had brought medical teams, recovery units, and what looked like military equipment. Look at all this, Amy Clark said, staring at the massive preparation areas. The Coraxians have brought enough medical gear to run a hospital. The Coraxians were impressive. They stood 8 feet tall with gray skin and 4 muscular arms. Their warriors wore ceremonial armor and carried weapons. They looked like they were preparing for war, not a fitness test. And look at the Zephyrians. Mac Rodriguez said the Zephyrians looked like massive rhinoceros creatures. They had thick, armored skin and powerful legs. Each one weighed at least 1,000 pounds. They moved slowly, but looked incredibly strong. The crystal people are beautiful, Dr. Bennett said that the Vexi were made of living crystal. They were tall and thin, with bodies that sparkled in the light. They moved with grace and precision, but they looked fragile compared to the other species. There were 12 species total. Each had brought 5 representatives. The humans looked small and ordinary compared to the others. They wore simple exercise clothes and running shoes. General Vorthik approached the human team. He was even more impressive in person. His 4 arms were covered in scars from battles. His gray skin was marked with tattoos, showing his rank and achievements. So, he said, his voice deep and rough, these are the famous humans. You look weak and soft. Are you sure you want to participate in this test? Jake smiled politely. We're sure. Thank you for the invitation. This is not an invitation, Vorthik said. This is a challenge. This test will break your bones and crush your spirit. You should withdraw now and save yourselves the embarrassment. Ryan Torres stepped forward. We appreciate the warning, but we're here to compete. Vorthik looked at Ryan with surprise. The human showed no fear. Instead, he seemed excited and confident. Very well, Vorthik said. When you fail, do not say we did not warn you. The testing facility was enormous. It had 5 separate chambers, each one bigger than a football field. The chambers were filled with obstacles, walls to climb, ropes to swing on, heavy objects to carry, and barriers to crawl under. Attention all participants, announced a voice over the speakers. The Bone Crusher Protocol will now begin. All species report to Testing Chamber 1. The first chamber was set to 2 times normal gravity. As soon as the teams entered, several aliens immediately showed signs of stress. The gaseous nebulae collective began to lose their shape. The delicate insect-like chiropterans started breathing heavily. Each team will be given a 50-pound pack, the announcer continued. You must complete the quarter-mile obstacle course within 2 hours. Any team member who fails to complete the course will be eliminated. The packs were distributed. The humans put them on like normal backpacks. Other species struggled with the weight even in the starting area. Begin, the announcer called. The Zephyrian team charged forward with their massive strength. But after only 30 meters, the lead Zephyrian stumbled. The combination of increased gravity and a heavy pack was too much for his huge body. He fell heavily, and did not get up. The Vexi crystal people moved carefully and precisely. But their brittle bodies were not designed for this kind of stress. The first crystal warrior reached a climbing wall and tried to pull himself up. His arms shattered like glass. The sound echoed through the chamber. The chiropterans tried to fly over the obstacles, but the heavy gravity pulled them down. They crashed into the first barrier and lay there, unable to move. Meanwhile, the human team was moving steadily through the course. They were not the fastest, but they were consistent. Ryan led the way, keeping an easy pace. The others followed, breathing hard but not struggling. "Stay in Zone 2, Ryan called back to his teammates. "Keep your heart rate steady. This is just the warm-up." Dr. Bennett was actually taking notes on her tablet while she climbed over a wall. "Heart rate is good," she said. "Muscle stress is within normal limits." The alien observers were shocked. Species after species was failing the first stage. The Nebulae Collective had completely dispersed. The chiropterans were being carried away by medical teams. Even some of the Caraxian warriors were showing signs of strain, but the humans looked like they were taking a leisurely jog through the park. "This is impossible," said the Ixion delegate. The Ixions were known for their scientific knowledge. How can such small, weak creatures handle this level of stress? "Maybe they're using performance-enhancing drugs," suggested the Tellurian representative. "No," said General Vorthik, watching the humans carefully. "They're just different." By the end of the first stage, only 6 species remained. The Caraxians had lost 1 warrior, but the other 4 were still in the competition. The heavily armored Tellurians were struggling but holding on. A flexible serpentine species was adapting well. The rock-like granites were slow but steady. The energy-based photons were flickering but still present, and the humans had finished first, barely. Breathing hard. "How do you feel?" a medical examiner asked Jake. "Good," Jake said. "A little tired, but good, like after a normal workout." The second stage was 3 times normal gravity with 75-pound packs. The course was half a mile long with more difficult obstacles. The serpentine team dropped out immediately. Their flexible bodies could not handle the increased weight. 2 more Caraxian warriors collapsed with broken bones. The Tellurian armor became too heavy to carry. The humans adjusted their pace slightly, but continued moving steadily. Amy was humming a song while she crawled under a barrier. Matt was discussing the engineering of the gravity generators with Steve, who had joined them as an observer. "Are they actually enjoying this?" asked a medical observer. "I think they are," replied his colleague. "Their stress indicators are elevated but stable. They show no signs of panic or fear." The third stage was 4 times normal gravity with 100-pound packs. The course was 3/4 of a mile long with even more challenging obstacles. Granites, despite their rock-like strength, began to crack under the pressure. The photons flickered and faded. Only the Caraxians and humans remained. General Vorthik was breathing heavily. His 4 arms were shaking with effort. The other 3 Caraxian warriors were pushing themselves to their limits. Their warrior pride was keeping them going, but their bodies were beginning to fail. The humans had shifted into what Ryan called Zone 3. They were working harder now, but they were still well within their capabilities. Dr. Bennett was still taking medical readings. Amy was still chatting with her teammates. "This is not possible," Vorthik gasped as he watched Jake Morrison complete a rope climb like it was nothing. "Where is their breaking point?" "Maybe," suggested his aide. "They don't have one." By the end of the third stage, only the Caraxians and humans remained. The other species had all been eliminated or withdrawn due to injuries. The fourth stage would be the real test. 6 times normal gravity with 1-100-20-5-pound packs. The course was a full mile long with the most difficult obstacles. Yet, are you ready for this? Jake asked his team. Ready, they all replied. They had no idea that they were about to make galactic history. The fourth testing chamber felt like stepping into a crushing weight. 6 times normal gravity pressed down on everyone who entered. The 1-100-20-5-pound packs felt like carrying another person on their backs. General Vorthik and his 3 remaining warriors entered the chamber with grim determination. Their gray skin was dark with sweat. Their 4 arms trembled with the effort of just standing upright. But they were Coraxian warriors. They would not give up easily. The human team entered right behind them. Jake Morrison felt the crushing weight. Immediately, his legs felt like lead. His arms could barely lift, but he had trained for this. His body knew what to do. Remember, Ryan Torres said to his team, this is just Zone 4. We can handle Zone 4. Dr. Bennett checked her tablet. The readings were still good. Human heart rates were elevated but stable. Muscle stress was high but not dangerous. Their bodies were adapting to the extreme conditions. All teams ready? The announcer called. The Coraxians nodded grimly. The humans nodded with confidence. Begin! The course was brutal. The first obstacle was a wall 12 feet high. In normal gravity, it would be challenging but manageable. In 6 times gravity, it was like climbing a mountain while carrying a refrigerator. The lead Coraxian warrior reached the wall first. His name was Captain Murdoch, and he was General Vorthik's best soldier. He grabbed the wall with his 4 arms and tried to pull himself up. His muscles strained. His bones creaked. Halfway up, he let out a cry of pain. His left arm bone snapped with a sound like a breaking tree branch. He fell to the ground and did not get up. The medical team rushed to help him. Murdoch! General Vorthik shouted. But there was nothing he could do. The test continued. Meanwhile, Ryan Torres approached the same wall. He studied it for a moment, then began to climb. His technique was different from the Coraxians. He used his legs more than his arms. He moved slowly but steadily. He made it to the top and helped his teammates up. How did you do that? Amy Clark asked when she reached the top. Climbing technique, Ryan said. Let your legs do the work. They're stronger than your arms. The second obstacle was a rope swing across a pit filled with water. The Coraxians tried to swing across using their raw strength, but the heavy gravity pulled them down. 2 warriors fell into the water with a massive splash. The humans used momentum and technique. They swung across one by one, each helping the next. Matt Rodriguez, despite being the smallest team member, made it across easily. It's all about physics, he explained to his teammates. Work with the gravity instead of fighting it. General Vorthik was now alone. His 3 warriors had all fallen to injuries or exhaustion, but he was not giving up. He was the strongest Coraxian warrior alive. He would not be defeated by these small, weak humans. The third obstacle was a crawling section. Participants had to crawl under barriers for 50 meters while carrying their heavy packs. The low ceiling made it impossible to stand up. The rough ground scraped against bodies. Vorthik's large size worked against him. His 4 arms were too wide for the narrow space. His heavy body pressed down against the ground. He moved forward inch by inch, grunting with effort. The humans crawled through the section like they were playing a game. Amy was fastest, moving like a snake through the narrow space. Dr. Bennett was taking notes even while crawling. Jake was encouraging his teammates. This is actually easier than some of the obstacle races I've done, Amy said when she emerged from the crawling section. Really? Jake asked. Yeah, at least this one doesn't have barbed wire. The fourth obstacle was a series of heavy objects to carry. Metal blocks weighing 50 pounds each had to be moved from one end of a field to the other. In 6 times gravity, each block felt like it weighed 300 pounds. General Vorthik tried to lift the first block. His forearms strained. His back muscles bulged. He managed to lift it a few inches before his body gave out. He fell to his knees, gasping for breath. The humans worked together. Instead of trying to lift the blocks alone, they carried them in pairs. 2 people per block, sharing the weight. They moved steadily across the field. Teamwork, Ryan explained to the watching aliens. Humans are good at working together. The 5th obstacle was a running section. Participants had to run 400 meters while carrying their packs. In 6 times gravity, running felt like swimming through thick mud. Each step was a struggle. General Vorthik tried to run. He managed 3 steps before falling. His leg bone, stressed beyond its limit, snapped. Loudly, he crashed to the ground and lay there, defeated. The medical team rushed to help him. As they carried him away, he looked at the humans with amazement and respect. How? He whispered to Dr. Bennett as she checked his injuries. Evolution, she said simply. We were built for this. The humans completed the running section at a steady pace. They were tired and breathing hard, but they were not broken. They had finished the 4th stage. The alien observers sat in stunned silence. The test that was designed to break the strongest warriors in the galaxy had been completed by humans, who seemed to treat it like a challenging workout. This is impossible, said the Ixion delegate. No species should be able to handle this level of stress. The humans are not like other species, said the Tellurian representative. They are adapted for extreme endurance. But how? Asked the Chiropteran observer. They look so weak and small. Dr. Bennett overheard the conversation. Would you like me to explain? She asked. The alien delegates nodded eagerly. Humans evolved as persistence hunters, Dr. Bennett began. On our home world, we hunted animals that were faster and stronger than us. We did it by chasing them for hours or even days until they collapsed from exhaustion. Days? The Ixion delegate asked in disbelief. Yes, our ancestors could run for days without stopping. We are built for endurance. Our cardiovascular system can deliver oxygen efficiently, even under extreme stress. Our cooling system allows us to regulate body temperature through sweating. Our bones are dense and strong from evolving on a high-gravity world. But the psychological aspect, said the Serpentine observer. How do you maintain mental focus under such physical stress? Amy Clark smiled. We don't see it as stress. We see it as a challenge. Humans love challenges. We've been doing this kind of thing for fun for thousands of years. For fun? Several aliens asked at once. Sure, said Matt Rodriguez. We have competitions like this all over Earth. Marathon running, obstacle racing, endurance challenges. People pay money to participate in events that are harder than this test. The alien delegates exchanged shocked glances. The humans had just revealed that their species regularly engaged in activities more challenging than the Bone Crusher Protocol as recreational entertainment. There is one more stage, the announcer said. Will the human team proceed to the final test? Jake looked at his teammates. They were tired but determined. They had come this far. They would finish what they started. We're ready, Jake said. The 5th and final stage awaited. 8 times normal gravity, 150-pound packs, and a 1.5-mile obstacle course. The test that was designed to be impossible. The test that the humans were about to make look easy. The 5th testing chamber was a monument to impossibility. 8 times normal gravity pressed down like the weight of the universe itself. The 150-pound packs felt like carrying a small vehicle. The obstacle course stretched for 1.5 miles of pure punishment. No alien species had ever completed this stage. It was designed to be the ultimate proof that even the strongest warriors had limits. The Coraxians had built it to demonstrate their own superiority, but even their greatest champions had never finished it. Jake Morrison and his team stood at the starting line. The crushing gravity made every breath difficult. Their legs felt like concrete pillars. Their arms hung heavy at their sides. But they were still standing. "Are you sure about this?" Jake asked his teammates one final time. "Absolutely, Ryan," Torres replied. He was breathing hard, but his eyes were bright with determination. "This is what we trained for." Dr. Bennett checked her medical scanner. Heart rates are elevated but stable. Muscle stress is high, but within acceptable limits. "We can do this." Amy Clark stretched her arms despite the crushing weight. "I'm actually excited. This is going to be like those extreme races back home." Matt Rodriguez nodded. "The engineering of this gravity system is impressive, but we're more impressive." The alien observers watched in amazement. Every other species had approached this stage with fear and dread. The humans seemed excited and confident. "How can they be so calm?" asked the Ixion delegate. "Perhaps they don't understand the danger," suggested the Tellurian representative. General Vorthik, his leg in a medical cast, watched from the observation deck. "No," he said quietly. "They understand perfectly. They're just not afraid. Begin the final stage." The announcer called. The first obstacle was a series of walls, each one higher than the last. The tallest was 20 feet high. In 8 times gravity, it might as well have been a mountain. The humans approached the first wall together. Instead of trying to climb it individually, they formed a human pyramid. Ryan boosted Amy up first. She reached down and helped Matt. Matt helped Dr. Bennett. Dr. Bennett helped Jake. Together, they lifted each other over obstacles that should have been impossible. "Teamwork again," Ryan called to the watching aliens. "Humans are very good at working together." The second obstacle was a rope climb. 50 feet of rope hung from the ceiling. In normal gravity, it would be a good workout. In 8 times gravity, it was like climbing while wearing a suit of armor. The humans climbed slowly but steadily. They used their legs to grip the rope and save their arm strength. They rested when they needed to, but never gave up. One by one, they reached the top. Amy was first to finish. She checked her fitness tracker out of habit. "That was about 1,200 calories, she said. "Not bad for a morning workout." The alien observers heard this and couldn't believe it. The humans were tracking their calorie burn during the most difficult physical test ever created. The third obstacle was a crawling section under electrified barriers. The barriers were low, forcing participants to crawl on their stomachs. The electricity would shock anyone who touched them. The section was 200 meters long. The humans crawled through like they were playing a game. Dr. Bennett was still, taking notes on her tablet. Matt was commenting on the electrical engineering. Amy was humming a song. "This is actually easier than the mud crawls I did in the military," Rand called back to his teammates. "At least this one is clean." The fourth obstacle was a series of heavy objects to move. Stone blocks weighing 100 pounds each had to be carried across a field. In 8 times gravity, each block felt like it weighed 800 pounds. The humans worked in pairs again. They developed a rhythm, moving together, sharing the weight. They were tired and sweating, but they were not broken. "How are you doing?" "This?" called out the Chiropteran observer. "Practice," Jake replied, "and good genetics. Humans have been doing this for millions of years." The fifth obstacle was a swimming section. Participants had to swim across a pool of water while wearing their heavy packs. The increased gravity made swimming incredibly difficult. Water felt thick and heavy. The humans jumped into the water together. Swimming in 8 times gravity was like swimming through syrup. But they had trained for this. They used efficient strokes and helped each other across. Dr. Bennett was the slowest swimmer, but her teammates waited for her. "No one gets left behind," Jake said. "We finish together." The 6th obstacle was a running section. 1 mile of running while carrying the heavy packs. In 8 times gravity, each step was a battle against crushing force. The humans ran together in formation. They had found their rhythm. They were tired, very tired, but they were not defeated. They encouraged each other, shared water, and kept moving forward. "This is like the marathon I ran in Boston," Amy said between breaths. "Just with more weight." "And more gravity," Matt added. "Details," Amy replied with a smile. The final obstacle was a combination of everything they had faced. Climbing, crawling, carrying, and running all together. It was designed to break anyone who had somehow made it this far. The humans approached it methodically. They had learned the course. They knew their bodies. They worked together as a team. Ryan climbed first and dropped ropes for the others. Amy crawled through the narrow sections and called back directions. Matt carried the heavy objects using leverage and physics. Dr. Bennett monitored everyone's health and made sure they stayed safe. Jake coordinated everything and kept morale. Step by step, obstacle by obstacle, they moved toward the finish line. The alien observers were completely silent. They were watching something that should have been impossible. The humans were not just surviving the test, they were completing it with competence and teamwork. 50 meters to go, Jake called to his team. "I can see the finish line," Amy replied. "We're actually going to do this," Matt said with amazement. "Of course we are," Dr. Bennett said. "We're human." The final 20 meters felt like 20 miles. The gravity was crushing. The packs felt impossibly heavy. Every muscle in their bodies screamed for rest. But they kept moving. Ryan crossed the finish line first. He immediately turned around and waited for his teammates. Amy crossed second, then Matt, then Dr. Bennett. Jake crossed last, making sure everyone made it safely. They had done it. They had completed the Bone Crusher protocol. The humans collapsed to the ground, exhausted but victorious. They were breathing hard and covered in sweat, but they were smiling. They had just accomplished something that no other species had ever done. "How do you feel?" a medical examiner asked. "Tired," Jake replied, "but good, like after a really hard workout." "That was fun," Amy said, checking her fitness tracker again. "I burned about 2,000 calories total." "Fun?" the medical examiner couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Yeah," Ryan said. "It was challenging, but fun. Like those obstacle races people do on Earth for entertainment." The alien observers slowly descended from their viewing areas. They approached the human team with a mixture of awe and confusion. General Vorthik hobbled over on his crutches. His leg was broken, but his pride was intact. "I must ask," he said to the humans, "how did you do this? How did you complete a test that breaks the strongest warriors in the galaxy?" Dr. Bennett stood up slowly. She was tired but happy to explain. "We evolved for this," she said. "Humans are persistence hunters. We developed on a world where we had to chase prey for hours or days. Our bodies are built for endurance. But the psychological aspect," General Vorthik pressed. "How do you maintain focus under such extreme stress?" "We don't see it as stress," Jake explained. "We see it as a challenge. Humans love challenges. We've been doing this kind of thing for recreation for thousands of years." "Recreation?" "Several." Aliens asked at once. "Sure," Ryan said. "We have marathons, obstacle races, endurance competitions. People pay money to participate in events that are harder than this test. The Ixian delegate stepped forward. Are you saying that your species regularly engages in activities more challenging than the Bone Crusher Protocol for entertainment? Absolutely, Amy replied. This was tough, but it wasn't impossible. It was just a really good workout. The revelation sent shockwaves through the galactic community. The test that was designed to identify the strongest warriors in the galaxy had been completed by humans who treated it like a recreational activity. There is something else, Dr. Bennett said. This test was designed based on alien physiology. Most species in the galaxy evolved on low-gravity worlds. You're not adapted for this kind of stress. But humans are, Matt added. We come from a heavy-gravity world. We evolved to handle extreme physical challenges. What seems impossible to you is just difficult for us. General Vorthik looked at the humans with new respect. You have taught us an important lesson today. We designed this test to prove our superiority. Instead, we discovered that there are species far more capable than we imagined. We're not superior, Jake said. We're just different. Every species has its strengths. What will you do now? Asked the Tellurian representative. Probably get some food, Amy said. I'm hungry after all that exercise. The aliens couldn't believe it. The humans had just completed the most challenging physical test ever created, and they were thinking about lunch. Word of the human achievement spread across the galaxy within hours. The species that had casually completed the impose